My goodness, we are pleased as punch. I want Hubert Humphrey there to be joined by Red River United Teachers Union President Jackie Lansdale. Hey, Miss Jackie, how you doing?
I'm equally pleased as punch to join you.
Well, at least we haven't sunk into a cliche-ridden level just yet.
No, we haven't.
There we go.
Dr. Lamar Gorey joined us last hour, and we were talking to him about teacher pay. That was our key issue. We asked him about you and your comment to us a week or two ago when I asked you if a walkout was something you would consider, and you said nothing was off the table.
I think that the teachers that Jackie represents, as well as Jackie, will always do what's best for children. And I assure you, Jackie Lansdale is a friend, and she is not going to allow teachers to walk out of school. She's not gonna put her name on that.
Okay, your name's here. You're joining us. You still stand by that everything's on the table?
I still stand by that. I have tremendous respect for the superintendent, and I pray that it doesn't get to that point. But we are in a critical situation. And well, that would never be my first choice, my second choice, my third choice. In order to do what's right for boys and girls, if it gets to that point, yes, that still remains on the table.
The 10% health insurance increase, was 10% accurate?
5% was accurate. They're saying that it was an average of $10.
$10, right? Okay. Does that put you over the edge in terms of this is enough? Teachers have shouldered enough. It's time to give us more money.
Well, it really was a piling on effect when you consider that we worked so hard last spring to renew the bond from 1997 to come right back into school and have positions cut, which ups the teacher-pupil ratio, have positions created at central office, and the very next act of business was to say, now we're going to increase your insurance. So you've increased my workload, and now you're going to take away more of my take-home pay. So, yeah, it really was a piling on effect.
You had said that you would phrase it the way you want. You want the teachers' raise to be on the ballot. Explain to me what you mean by that, because Dr. Gorey sort of implied that means you want a new tax, and he didn't think Shreveport voters, Caddo Parish voters were up for that.
Well, again, all due respect to our superintendent, there's several processes that could follow. I'm going to harken back to 1997. Whenever we asked the public to support us, at the time we were 17th in the state, and the public supported us, and by 1997 we were second in the state. Now we're the last in the region in terms of new teacher salaries. I still believe that the public supports the teachers and school employees in this district. I'm going to tell you why. Very, very factually, 95% of our students stay within our school system. 95%. I'm talking about the population that could attend. And we're an urban school district, and urban means that we have obviously some struggling areas, but 95 remain here because we're able to provide education for every child. The other part of that is, just for example, I was at Grandparents' Day last week at Walnut Hill. There were over 800 grandparents there that day. I mean, they literally had cars parked all the way from the school down to Buncombe Road. So, you can't convince me that the parents, the public, don't support our schools. I just think we have to ask them.
If Dr. Gorey is correct, and Caddo Parish voters won't back the equivalent of a new tax to give teachers a pay raise, what is and where's the money going to come from?
Well, there's a lot of ifs in all of that. Certainly, the superintendent's not in charge of what the public does. He's in charge of his budget. So certainly, if they can look there and find some resources, we know for a fact we've already closed 2 schools this year, right? Mm-hmm. So if there's some available resources they can use, they're fine. But really and truly, going to the public is not a function of the superintendent; it's a function of the board.
But he'd have to support it. I mean, he'd have to back it for it to pass. I mean, you agree with that?
I would think that he would have his thumb on the scale for sure.
Let me ask you this. You mentioned a minute ago, and you've done this before, central office positions have been added. That's clearly directed right at Dr. Gorey, that how can you put all this on teachers, but yet you're creating positions at the central office? Why are we adding jobs in the administrative staff when we're trimming everywhere else?
Are you asking me that?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't,
and why? And have you asked him that? What does he tell you?
Well, when we had brought that to him, we have brought that to the board. Every board meeting. Right now, we're in the middle of a campaign where all of our employees throughout the district are sending 12 postcards, a postcard for every member, and I'm delivering them to the school board as a reminder that, hey, we're here. And, just yesterday they won a prestigious award, and we reminded them of that. Who are you going to recognize in this? Are you going to recognize and say, good job? Are you going to pat yourselves on the back, administration on the back? Are you going to support and congratulate those people that are in the classroom? And, and probably, pizza for the day is not going to get it.
Miss Jackie, it's the middle of October. Do you hope that this will have a peaceful ending and or resolution by, say, January 1st?
It's hard to predict that. I'm going to harken back to, 1995, whenever we first started bringing our concerns when we were 17th in the district. And I actually had that article, and the superintendent then, Dr. Foster, said, hey, we're doing everything we can. The state's not helping us. Everything we can do locally, we've done. Well, what that board decided to do in 1996 was to go to the public with a 6-prop bond. And we were able to do that by the support of the public. And remember, teachers and school employees are the public. We were able to pass a 10% increase for teachers and 6% for support. So, we have a pattern before us. Now, whether we want to go bond, and if that's the issue, or whether we want to go sales tax, I'm not going to make those calls. My call is just to continue to point out to them that we are the lowest in the region. And the fact that we have already lost, since August, 60 teachers. That's huge. To point out to them that, there is one school that I can point out that half the staff are day-to-day subs. That's huge.
Pardon me, Miss Jackie. About a half hour ago, Dr. Gorey told us that he wanted to give teachers a raise, Caddo teachers a raise, that he would do everything he could to give Caddo teachers a raise.
I don't, and if he can do, if he's the
do you take him at his word?
Yes, I take him at his word.